emotion, wizardry, all sharper and brighter. You'll feel every roar with an atmosphere projected around you. Every moment matters.
Vinicius scores.
You'll relive them, share them, everywhere you go, with exclusives from beyond the touchline. Witness the FIFA Club World Cup like never before. DAZN Premium, the closest thing to being there. Upgrade now at DAZN.com.
We are back here at MetLife Stadium. Let's take a look at Paris Saint-Germain's starting lineup. They made 2 changes. Ousmane Dembele getting the start up front after coming off the bench in the last 2 games. He missed group stage play. He's been back. He's been doing really well, JP. How do you think his fitness is in a day like this that's really hot now that he's getting the start?
I mean, it's also about game management, the players that you have on the bench. And obviously having Dembele back in the game is just a phenomenal threat. Because his ability just to play off the ball, but also chasing people down. The goal he scored, I think, is going to build him. It's going to give him a lot of confidence. But at the end of the day, he's having players also on the bench that can contribute later on the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think when you look at their bench, Barcola Bradley also has had a really good tournament, and Dembele saw it in form today. But regardless of who plays up front, I think they're all really good, really electric, and going to have a lot of fun today.
Yeah, they've scored 12 goals so far. PSG has throughout this entire tournament. What do you think is the key to their success offensively? How do you think Dembele handles the pressure today and also just getting that start?
Well, it's obviously great players, great individuals, but as we spoke before, it's about the team. It's how Luis Enrique installed that team spirit that we're all in this together, right?
Yeah.
And of course, from time to time, one player will shine more than the other. That's how football works. Someone's going to score more goals, make more assists, or you're going to defend the way you should be, and you don't lose the game. But as a unit, as a team that moves, and like we spoke, even if you're out of position, you still know how to react and how to cover for it. So this is the sign of intelligent players, and for me, that's the success they had so far, and in the Champions League, of course. Because when you look at the team, everybody is a great player. But to have a great team, that's a different thing, and I think they have that.
All the great players have to play together to be a great team, too. But let's look at the other side, Real Madrid. I know we talk about Mbappe a lot, but this is a storyline. I mean, he's going up against his former team, a team that just won the Champions League trophy. I mean, what are you thinking if you're inside Mbappe's head right now?
I'm sure there's a lot of emotions, you know what I mean? This is a team that he's been in, a long part of his career, and I'm sure he has great memories from it. He won a lot of trophies with them. But I think the best way to honor your former team is to perform well against them. I mean, and it's not disrespect by any means. It's also just honoring what he did, what they mean, what it means to him. But I'm expecting him just to do well and play hard against PSG today.
No, I mean, he's playing under a different badge today, and I think playing with the Real Madrid badge on your chest comes a lot of responsibility, and I'm sure he's up for the beat today. I think there are, again, some good memories that he had at PSG, maybe some resentment because they won the Champions League once he left, but regardless, I think he's going to be in for a big game today, and I'm guessing he's going to want to win.
Yeah, your thoughts?
So I'm curious to see how he's going to play against his former team. Not only he plays against his former team, he's the all-time top scorer of PSG with unbelievable goal-scoring record. So now he knows that the defense of PSG knows that he's dangerous, right? So you can use this when you go onto the pitch. You always know when you have good players facing you. So when you have this mentality, you can outsmart the opposition. But at the same time, you have Marquinhos, right? And we saw Marquinhos in a warm-up how he is motivating the team. That's what the captains do. So it's going to be an interesting battle. Sometimes even the slightest mistake can cause you trouble. So I always say the least mistakes you make, better for you, because the other team, when they have intelligent players, they can use that mistake.
Yeah, it's almost just play simple to a certain extent too. But I mean,
just one thing, football is for intelligent players, right? But also is a simple game for smart people. So sometimes the simplest thing is the most genius one.
I like that, a simple game for smart people.
Basics.
Keep it simple, right?
Exactly.
That's what it's all about. Time to take our next break here. Coming up after, we have so much more. We're getting closer and closer to kickoff. I know PSG, they're feeling the pressure, they're feeling the heat. They're the best team in the world right now. But on the other side, Real Madrid with their new coach, Kylian Mbappe going up against his former team. So many storylines here at MetLife Stadium. Coming up after, guys, we are just 12 minutes away from kickoff. It's the final before the final. We'll be right back, getting closer to kickoff next.
Shootout time at the FIFA Club World Cup. Upgrade to DAZN Premium. You'll see stadiums flooded by a billion colors. Feel every roar with an atmosphere projected around you. Upgrade now at DAZN.com.
Did your streaming expire when you least expected? Save the day by using the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards Card and choose to earn 6% cash back on online purchases for the first year from account opening. What would you like the power to do?
Amica Insurance is proudly customer-owned. We know what keeps you going, and we work harder to protect it. Visit amica.com today.
Ponvory is approved for the treatment of relapsing forms of multiple sclerosis in adults. Ponvory lowers the number of white blood cells, lymphocytes, in your blood. Usually, this will return to normal within 1 to 2 weeks of stopping treatment. Ponvory can increase your risk of serious infections that can be life-threatening and may cause death. Ponvory can cause your heart rate to slow down, especially after you take your first dose. Do not take Ponvory if in the last 6 months you had a heart attack, unstable angina, stroke, or other severe heart conditions, including certain types of abnormal heart rhythm. The most common side effects of Ponvory include upper respiratory tract infections, elevated liver enzymes, and high blood pressure. Starting treatment with Ponvory will begin with the starter pack. Ask your doctor about Ponvory or visit ponvory.com to learn more. By Vanda Pharmaceuticals.
If you're on the pitch and you get one of these, you're out of the game. No substitution. And like a red card, there's no substitution for betting with DraftKings. But unlike a red card, you can always stay in the game. Because whether you strike on a live goal scorer, throw in the perfect parlay, or support your squad to win it all, you can make the most out of every match. Right now, new customers can bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the app, use the promo code when you sign up.
Gentlemen, anything while you wait? Play for the Michelob Ultra?
A new era begins for both of these sides. Gonzalo Garcia, it's Neves! A huge result for Al Hilal. Bellingham strikes towards goal. Goal! The ball played back through Valverde on the end of it. It is a first win for Xabi Alonso. He's going to go alone and he's going to score for Real Madrid. Oh, he plays it back for Valverde. It's into the corner. Could this be three? It's in. They top the group. Alexander-Arnold's cross. And Gonzalo Garcia with a header. Real Madrid are into the quarterfinals. Plenty of time to tee up the cross. And there's the finish from Gonzalo Garcia. And Alexander-Arnold's cross. Fran Garcia. And that's in. It's a goal back for Dortmund. And now cross. Mbappe. Real Madrid, in extraordinary fashion, are through to the semi-finals.
Welcome back. A nice look at how Real Madrid got here. We are in the FIFA Club World Cup semis as we take a look at their starting lineup. Again, 2 changes happening. Mbappe getting the start today. So is Asensio. Trent Alexander-Arnold is going to be out at right back with muscle discomfort. Valverde moves back from center mid into that fullback position. This is going to be a really big matchup, but one of the guys that you wanted to look out for is Courtois. He's been so good, 450 minutes throughout this tournament, 19 saves, solid keeper for them between the
I love him. We always, when we talk about Real Madrid, we normally focus on the forward players,
Gotta
attacking
show them
players.
a little love.
But this guy, if you look at what he's done throughout this tournament, he not only kept them in the tournament, but also also he has made some unbelievable saves. I just did the one against Borussia Dortmund at the very, very last minute. And you know, Dimi, there's moments in the game that you're gonna make mistakes. And sometimes, look at this, sometimes you pray to not get punished or to get your goalkeeper to save you. And this guy has done it time and again throughout this tournament.
Definitely. I mean, I think as a defender or as a team in general, when you look back and you have a goalie who's 6'7" in goal, it makes the goal look a lot smaller than what it is. He's been great with his hands, but also with his feet. I think he's really integral in the way that Real Madrid plays through the back, and he's been a big part of that.
Yeah, and when you're a striker, when you need to face a certain goalkeepers, and you know who they are, how big they are, how they flip the goal, sometimes you're thinking, where do I put the ball? How I'm going to score? The other way around, when you have someone in front, behind you, when you're a defender, and you know that someone is really good, he can save you at times. I mean, that save against Borussia Dortmund in the last seconds of the game, this is unbelievable. It's a world class. This is what you need.
But that's what I'm saying, as a defender, sometimes you make a mistake later on in the game, and you look back and you say, please save me, save me. You know what I mean? Because it happens, you know what I mean? And having a guy like him, is guaranteed for you that you're going to be in the game.
I think it's going to be a really big factor for today's game, especially with the guys that PSG has up front. He's definitely going to be challenged. Another thing is no Trent Alexander-Arnold in the lineup tonight. He's out with that muscle discomfort, and so instead Valverde drops back to that right side. How does things adjust? How do they adjust defensively too? Also a new center back in Asensio.
Well, I think we spoke about it a little bit. We touched on it. Now, two things for me stand out here. If I'm Dani Carvajal, I'll be thinking, does the coach trust me? I'm a right back. I've been playing right back all my life. Why am I not playing?
But my suggestion was early that because of the tactical adjustment that Alexander-Arnold is giving to this Real Madrid size, especially in the middle of the park, I think he doesn't want to lose that in this game because the middle of the park is going to be congested. That's where the game is going to be played and where it's going to be controlled. So he wants to have also Valverde to be part of this. And I think that is the reason why Carvajal is not in this game.
So it depends who your coach is and what he likes.
Yeah.
But also Valverde is the captain, right? Yeah. So he's the guy who probably needs to lead the team. So obviously Javi Alonso trusts him a lot to put him in a position, and he knows that he can handle it. But that's what you need from your captain.
Yeah, I mean, I think Valverde is a hybrid player. He definitely is going to be one of the reasons why hopefully they can win the midfield today. But also he's able to track back with his engine. So Valverde is really integral. Again, he's captain for a reason. Clearly the coach trusts him. Like you said, Carvajal, he might have that little bit of doubt in his brain, but regardless, I think he should be ready just in case they switch up the lineup.
Yeah, Valverde 16 shots, and he scored back-to-back games before the Dortmund game.
The other part, Aaron, is when you're a coach of a team of this size, you want to have players that have tactical adaptability, that can change position at some point in the game. And I think that's what he gets with Valverde. Valverde can play in the middle, can play in the right, can play as a center back sometimes. He's a guy that will adapt to any position. And I think that is a great quality to have.
He's a multifunctional player. Yes. You can put him anywhere, and he's going to defend, he's going to attack, he's going to do a little bit of everything on the field. Speaking of doing a little bit of everything, that's what PSG has done to get here. Let's take a look back at their path through the FIFA Club World Cup up to the semis.
At the Rose Bowl.
Fabian Ruiz, the European champions, will kick off their quest for a world title with a dominant victory.
And the European champions have been floored by Botafogo.
Achraf Hakimi doubles the PSG lead, and he seals their space in the knockout round.
Coutinho in and unmarked at the back post to head it in is João Neves. PSG are flying in Atlanta now.
Doué! It's 1-0 for Paris Saint-Germain. Dembele! The European champions are headed to the Club World Cup semi-final.
Let's take a look at Paris Saint-Germain's starting lineup. Two adjustments today. Ousmane Dembele getting the start up top after coming off the bench in the previous two games, and Beraldo getting the start at center back next to Marquinhos. But Vitinha has been a really, really incredible player for this team. Dimitar, take me through it. How has he helped them get to where they are right
now? Look, we didn't touch on him at all, but this I watched him closely. He's unbelievable, always going forward, again, running all day long, supporting, pretty much again doing the dirty work. But also there is a quality to him when he control, when he touch, how he turn, how he pass the ball exactly to the right foot of his teammates. So he's very clever, and that's why he afforded himself to be in a difficult situation, but trust himself that he get out of the situation based on the qualities.
Yeah, you hear the fans behind us. There's a lot of Real Madrid fans here. You're also wondering why you're still staring at our faces right now. It's because kickoff was pushed back 10 minutes. So you get to hang with us for a few minutes longer. But Vitinha, he's been absolutely fantastic. Played every single minute so far for this PSG team.
For me, he is the most important player on this team because he connects everything. He defends, he connects the attack, he makes those late runs into the attacking side. He hardly misses a pass. Every time he gets the ball, he continues the play. But at the end of the day, it's the rotational overloads that this team has. You know, they interchange position constantly. Sometimes they play with double pivot. But, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. You just have to fill those spots. But they prioritize the ball possession to dominate teams. And throughout this tournament, they've been dominating. Even the game that they lost against Botafogo, the possession was just like 70+%. So we expect them today to be dominant in possession. We'll see if they're effective enough, you know, when they get the chances, and if they're solid enough when they, you know, face the attackers for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see Vitinha's lined up as a number 6, but those three in the middle, they all interchange really well, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've been so successful throughout this tournament, because all those guys can play really well. And Vitinha, I mean, as a defender, I think the last thing you want is a kind of a short player dribbling through the lines and coming towards you. So, me personally, like you said, he's a really big part of this kind of engine that PSG has, and but the midfield in general, they rotate really well.
He reminds me of Xavi and Iniesta.
Oh,
yeah. One. He's unbelievable.
He hardly lose the ball, you know what I mean? And it's important when you have a player in that position because this team, they want to control possession and they move in block, even with the small passes, but they start to gain ground to dominate the teams, and he's a vital part of it.
What about Hakimi from the defensive and offensive side? I mean, he does a little bit of everything here. 2 goals so far in this tournament. What are your thoughts, Hakimi?
So loud I cannot hear.
There's so many Real Madrid fans here. We can't even hear ourselves think or talk, but Hakimi on the right side, he's been really fantastic. How do you feel like he can penetrate this Real Madrid defense?
I told you about Hakimi. I mean, it doesn't matter which player we touch on PSG, he's been unbelievable. And as I said, he is not a right back. Look at this. This is the last moment against Bayern Munich. They need to take the ball to the corner. But no, I'm Hakimi. I know what I'm doing. Past 3 players, you know. I'm going to give it to someone. He's going to score. I mean, his decision making, his run behind the defense, because he knows he's very quick, obviously, very mobile as well. He doesn't get tired at all. So he's everywhere on that side of the pitch. And when you're a coach and you have players like this, man, it's unbelievable.
No, I think Luis Enrique, I think he gives his players a certain sense of confidence, you know, and I think you can see it with Hakimi. He's up and down the flanks, and he doesn't really seem to get tired, so that's pretty impressive. But he's been a big part of not just the offense, but also the defense for this PSG team.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that for Luis Enrique, fullbacks are very important, and we talk about Hakimi, but also Mendes in the other side. He goes up and down, and I think, you know, when they're in possession, especially in their final third, they want to have their fullbacks high. And that's what they give him, you know what I mean? But then when you look at the team, it's just Neves, you know, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Dembélé, Doué. I mean, it's full of talent, and they have the firepower to hurt you if they've been given the chance.
Yeah, for PSG, I mean, I feel like one of the biggest things for this game, too, is how are they going to break down Real Madrid's back line? Both teams have good defenses. Real Madrid showed a little bit of weaknesses recently. They've allowed 4 goals so far this tournament. How does PSG break down Real's defense?
They're not going to change, I'm telling you right now. pass, using their strong quality. Now, every team of these two think he's the best. Even though PSG won the Champions League, Real Madrid think they are better than them.
Really?
Trust me, yes. This is how the mentality of really big players. That's the ego. That's the thing that you think we are better than you. But that's okay because this is Real Madrid and this is PSG. So they have that mentality of thinking we are the best and we're going to show it to you. With PSG, I said no changing because Kvicha, Doué, Dembélé, dribble one-on-one behind the defense. That's what they do.
The only thing is you're always the more vulnerable you are is when you're in possession. So they have to protect the attack and defend the attack well, because one of the things that Real Madrid does well is the quick switches from left to right or from right to left, especially to Mbappé and Vinicius. And if they cut you high on the field, it's going to be a race. And those guys with the speed that they have is going to be a tough one.
I mean, for me, I think Doué is going to be a big one today. You know, I think he only has 1 goal throughout the tournament, but I think when you see him play, he's electric and he's young. You know. has a lot of legs under him. So, me personally, I think Due is going to be a really big part of the game today. Hopefully, he can make a big impact. I mean, I saw it in the Champions League final, but today it's arguably the bigger game.
Just wanted to touch on the other side with Gonzalo, Garcia, and Mbappe. Now I'm be curious to see how he's going to manage playing with Mbappe. Is he going to be a bit of, I'll take the back seat? So naturally Mbappe is a superstar, right? So is he going to be a bit more shy around him? Or his personality is going to go him, again, scoring, asking for the ball? Is he going to, when he sees Mbappe free, is he going to pass him the ball straight away? Or is he going to be like, I know what I'm doing, you wait?
Or is he going to be a number 9 and Mbappe will play off him? Or if he playing off Mbappe? Because he can also join the middle just to make 5 with Vinicius as well, you know what I mean? And make that 5 line in the middle. But is he going to be the number 9 at times and Mbappe will play off him? Is he going to be a number 10 and play off, Mbappe? So that's going to be very interesting just to watch today. How he adjusts, obviously, as the game progresses.
I think we spoke about PSG's midfield being able to interchange, but I think Real Madrid's front three can also do the same thing. I mean, Mbappe, Gonzalo, and also Vinny Jr., those three, they can play on either side or up top. So it'll be really interesting to see how they line up and if they start switching throughout the game.
Yeah, he's been so good, Due has been so good, Mbappe, so it's going to be interesting how they work together. Garcia Golazo, too. It's going to be so much fun. Now, are you ready to join the Fan Zone? Test your sports knowledge, support your team, interact with fans around the world. Just search for DAZN.com/fanzone or open the DAZN app and jump into the action. Speaking of jumping into the action, that's exactly what we're about to do. We're about 5 minutes away from kickoff, you guys, as all of the players are being introduced for Real Madrid. 1 or 2 biggest keys for them to earn the win today against the best team in the world in PSG.
As I said, both teams think they are better than the other one. So both teams will be like they need to think about us, not we about them. Because the quality they have, it's unbelievable. But again, obviously, they will be counting on Gonzalo to continue on their scoring form. Now, when Mbappe is into the team, it gives a big lift to the rest of the players because obviously everybody look up to him to score, to improvise with the speed, with everything that he has. Vinny Jr., of course, we didn't spoke about him. He's doing great as well. So the most of the time, the threat comes from the attack.
Yeah.
As well. But Arda Güler, watch out.